thought I'd come on and do a quick live video. I promise to try and keep it fairly quick and yeah, keep it moving. So I was having a clear up of my desk. I've had a very busy weekend with the Ronald McDonald charity card making event. So basically in the UK we've been challenged to make 10,000 cards this weekend, and I think we're going to make it. So I made 100, well, just under 100, and then I had one of my customers, she couldn't make it to my event, so she made some cards at home. So between us we made 120, which are going to get sent off to the Birmingham Ronald McDonald House. So anyway, so I've been tidying up my desk because I've had event after event and just the room was a mess and my craft room was a mess. And I've just done a Facebook Live and made a card on Facebook Live, which I will show you in a minute. And I've got some stuff left over on my desk and thought it would be nice for me to carry on and use up some of these scraps to make a card. So that's what I'm about to do with you. So I'm just going to check out what we've got here. There's post-it notes. I don't need those. I've got various different bits and bobs here from various experimentation that's been going on my table at various times. And so I'm going to have a go and see if I can make something. So actually I could use that as a card base. So I think this was some experimenting that I did a while back when we got the texture paste, and looks like I have maybe sponged the background, then used the texture paste, and then actually sponged onto the texture paste. So that's how I came up with that. There also looks like there's some glitter on it, but it might be that it's just come into contact with glitter. It's not necessarily that I've put it there. So if we use that as a basis, I've got these fab flowers that must have been created by me at some point when I was having a bit of an experiment. And so perhaps we could create a little bit of a collage. Could even have a cat sitting amongst them. I do love this cat punch, it's so cute. Have a little cat there. Now, is it worth having a dragonfly going off in the distance, or is that too big? Let's have a look. What else have I got on my table? Got a little bit of a leaf here. That could stick in there. Right, let's just see what else I've got in my scrap pile. I have got some other dragonflies which I could swap out. I think that one is quite big. It looks like it's going to fly off the card there, so maybe that one would be a little bit more appropriate. I've got these green things here. They might look quite fun. Put a little bit of height, some more texture. Right, I think I want to put some more colour down on these. They need to be a little bit darker. So I'll just grab the Tranquil Tide. Oop. And a sponge. Just darken up the colour of this a bit. So always remember that if you don't like the colour of something, you can always change it by putting some ink on it. And I think I'm just going to attach this straight to this now. Just get that stuck on down. That's almost a little bit too large for my card, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit just by tearing off the edges. That's a little bit better. So put some glue on the back there. Now I'm not worried that I've put it on a little bit thick because there are flowers that are going to be going on top of this. So even if the glue splurts out a little bit, it doesn't really matter at all. So I've got this quite large flower, so I'm really putting quite a bit of glue on there because it's quite 3D. And I really want to be able to make sure that that's really stuck down. So I'm really pushing that firmly. And once it's stuck down firmly, I can play with it and frou-frou it back up in a minute. So. Oh, this cat just looks like he's sitting amongst the flowers, doesn't he? Okay, so I'm doing the same with this. Opening that flower up a little bit to really get that stuck down. Then once that's stuck down, I can play with that and bring it back around. Get this flower stuck in here. I actually quite like the petals coming up a bit. I'm not sticking the flowers down, this flower down too precisely. There we go, I can frou-frou this back up. It's going to be a very 3D card, so it's not one that I'll probably send in the post. Right, I just noticed these dragonflies have got some bits that need poking out, which is what happens with some of these very fine dies. So guys, if you're watching this on the replay, do leave any comments that you want to down below, and do let me know how the sound is with you, because I've bought a new phone and I'm broadcasting on a new phone, and I know that there were some sound issues with my previous one, so please let me know how that's all going. I did do a YouTube live the other night and it seemed to be okay, apart from the fact that all my kids were on the internet and the sound wasn't great. But now I know this dragonfly is bigger than the cat, but I think we have to imagine that the cat is in the background and the dragonfly is in the foreground. Okay, so there we go. That's how I'm getting away with that one. I know sometimes scale doesn't always go to plan with these types of things. So I'm going to stick this cat down with some dimensionals. Try and get my hair out of there. Oh dear. So what happens, I've got sticky fingers, I just end up picking up everything. Okay, so let's nestle that cat in there. I quite like his tail curling out a little bit. And then it's almost like he's watching that dragonfly. So let's get some glue just on the body there. Have him like he's sitting on these reeds. I'm trying to make sure that it's not protruding too much from the card. You've got a little bit of wiggle room to get it into the envelope, but don't want to damage it too much. Right, so now will that fit in there? No, we'll leave that one out. This poor little leaf, I've been trying to fit him into a project and he's just not going. So we'll leave him for now. Right, well, thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully this is the beginning of me back on YouTube a little bit more often. Thanks for all your lovely, kind comments, and hopefully I'll speak to you again soon. But before I go, I'm going to show you the card that I made earlier on Facebook Live, and if you want to go and see how that all came about, then do head to Facebook and search for Artful Stampin', and this is a video that's there on my page now, and this again was made up from scraps that were on my table, so this was really good fun to put together. Right, thank you for joining me, and see you all again soon. Bye.